aware of him. A change in the Pittsburgh lineup. The man jumping center is Terrell Brown. He starts for Kenna Chufluka. Kenna has also been dealing with a sore back and tightened up on him, so he's not getting the start tonight. We'll see how much he's able to play, assuming he is able to get into the game. And surprise, surprise, Syracuse opens in a zone, I say facetiously.
Yeah, and folks, their basketball's got to get into that ACC area either by the pass or by the bounce. That time by the pass.
And the third freshman guard, Audice Toney, 6'6" freshman out of Huntsville, Alabama. Makes the first bucket of the night. As you look at the starting five for Syracuse, they'll need O'Shea Brissett and others to step up in the absence of battle on the offensive end. Frank Howard has it now. Pascal Chukwu rolling to the basket after setting the screen. Shot clock in single digits. Chukwu gets the offensive rebound. It's on the floor. McGowan's has it out, and Pittsburgh's on the push. And McGowan's is fouled by Bates. Knocking down the shot. Pittsburgh jumping out to a 5-0 lead behind the sharpshooter, Jamar Wilson-Frame.
He's had a really nice stretch coming into this tournament. Made 3 or more threes in 11 of his last 14 games and shot 41% from behind the line.
Pittsburgh did not get off to a quick start against Boston College, but then answered with a great run in the first half tonight. They get things started quickly. Boeheim, the offensive rebound, off of the set miss. Now Howard will line one up, and he knocks in the three.
It's a great time to shoot that three. Buddy Boeheim really good on the offensive glass. Did that at Brewster Academy last year and able to find Frank Howard wide open with the defense below the foul line to knock that shot down.
116th meeting between these two rivals who spent a number of years in the same conference in the Big East, and now ACC foes as Xavier Johnson gets in, loses it. Toney put up the shot. He hit the first one, but Pittsburgh can't get it to go, and here comes Syracuse. Elijah Hughes letting it fly.
And he's missed a few games early, not driving as much, so he's got to be able to knock down those open threes.
O'Shea Brissett had a big game. Les Jones, Bill Covington, our officiating crew tonight.
Well, I think one of the keys for the Cuse tonight is O'Shea Brissett cannot settle for jump shots, number 11 in white. He's got to be in attack mode every time he touches it, trying to get into the paint and getting on that offensive glass.
Howard again lines it up for three and knocks it in. Frank Howard has a couple of buckets in the early going, and he has all 6 Syracuse points.
Yeah, only 32% from 3 on the year, but he's looked awfully confident shooting that thing here early, Reese.
Toney right in the middle of that zone, and Audice
gonna have to make him put it on the floor and get to the rim.
A free throw in the early going for the Panthers. Makes them both. He is one of the two of the 3 freshman guards, I should say. 2 of them reclassified to join Jeff Capel's first class here. He originally was on his way to Nebraska, and changing the assistant coaching ranks had him reopen his recruitment, and he wound up joining Capel in his first class. He's having a pretty good foundation on the perimeter for Pittsburgh in the coming years. O'Shea Brissett misses the layup, and Toney has a rebound. It bounce passes through traffic to McGowan's, and McGowan's 33% from 3. They're not a great three-point shooting team, so beating that zone over the top's not likely. Boeheim with the steal, and Buddy with a layup.
How about Buddy B with a little left to right behind the back?
Mom Julie approves.
Loving it. That was sick.
Stunningly more demonstrative than Jim.
You think?
Jamar Wilson-Frame.
And he's the one guy on this Pitt team that you cannot allow to get easy looks at the rim, because he can knock him down and knock him down in a hurry. He had 3 made threes in the last game. This guy can shoot it too, though.
Boeheim has it roll out. In the 2 games against Syracuse, Wilson-Frame, regular season, made 9 3-pointers. He's got 2 in the early going here. Xavier Johnson loses it. Hughes coming the other way. Boeheim thought about it. Brissett kicks it back out to Buddy. Hughes driving. UConn played. Wow. Even though Syracuse didn't win the Big East tournament that year, that might be the most memorable conference tournament moment they've had. That was like a pulling guard on power play. Driving.
You gotta like the effort, though.
Don't like the second foul he picked up.
Oh boy.
City and Deere, the graduate transfer from New Mexico State, has the ball for Pittsburgh. There's Terrell Brown, short corner. Of a WAC championship team in New Mexico State, graduated, wanted to experience basketball somewhere else. Comes from France and has been a stabilizing force for Jeff Capel's first team in Pittsburgh. Played much better in the latter stages too, as Brissett.
Really good decisions. You can ill afford to have him get in foul trouble because of his versatility on both ends of the floor.
Malik Ellison has checked in. Nothing much.
It does look that way.
Boeheim has a height advantage on McGowan, who can't make the shot. And here comes Trey into the front court. Wilson-Frame's hit a couple of threes already. You know he'll be looking for open space.
ACC area, folks, and the short corner. Maybe able to get Terrell Brown, number 21, and go for a little lob on the backside of it because it's wide open.
Brown got trapped in the corner and threw it away, trying to skip it out. O'Shea Brissett.
Eyes, and that's what Jeff Capel was saying. You cannot stare down at your passes. They are reading our eyes every time.
You do have to pass fake against a zone, and you're exactly right, Allison. If you stare it down, the person who you're passing it to, whether it's against man or zone, they'll pick it off, and Syracuse is exceptional in that area. I like what I'm seeing from Brissett, though. He's in attack mode here early.
He's going to need to be with no ties battle tonight. That one bounced on the rim a couple of times. Wouldn't fall for him. And Deere into the front court. Xavier Johnson has returned for Pittsburgh to give McGowan's a brief rest. Terrell Brown
to find him. I'd like to see them throw it over the top and let him go get it.
On the Benjamin side of Cup taking a break. Tyus wanting to get people out of his way, perhaps, and get clear vision what's going on. If you're just joining us, Battle suffered a bruised tailbone and a pretty scary-looking fall in the game against Clemson last weekend. Allison Williams telling us he had improved over the course of the last few days, but too sore to give it a go. Now wait and see, should Syracuse advance, whether he's able to play tomorrow. Winner of this game meets up with Duke, and we assume, though it certainly has not been made official, that Zion Williamson will return for the Blue Devils.
Pass.
Oh, he's Tony back in with 2 fouls.
Number 1 go. And that's big, because now you have both of your centers, including Chukwu, in foul trouble in the middle. And it forces Merrick Dolezaj, number 21 in white, to have to play the middle of that, and he just doesn't have the girth inside. So Pitt should look to attack him when they get the basketball on the offensive end.
There were times last year, Franz, when Dolezaj had to play the 5. They felt like they might be better, but Boeheim has said many times it's not a long-term solution because of the reasons you just pointed out. As Howard misses the 3-point attempt, and there is Dolezaj, who went like a bug on the windshield when he collided with those big bodies in there. Bucket is scored as Dolezaj, none the worse for the wear, but he took a hard spill.
Yeah, but that's the O'Shea Brissett that I like. The guy that's getting on the offensive glass, attacking off the dribble. He's only taken 2 jump shots here early in the game. That's a plus for the Cuse.
8 of the 10 points Syracuse has scored of the second chance variety, and 9 of the points Pittsburgh has scored of the 3-point variety from Jamar Wilson-Frame.
Well, Xavier Johnson, number 1 in goal, set a beautiful screen to give Jamar Wilson-Frame some space to get that shot off.
Elijah Hughes with a 3.
Been a very consistent scorer for Syracuse all year long. Didn't play well in his last game against Clemson. 0 points in 11 minutes. They're going to need him to make some shots tonight. in the absence of Tyus Battle.
Malik Ellison along the baseline.
The Colgate did a wonderful job. Our defense wasn't quite there tonight for Bucknell, allowing them to score 94 points in this game. Just wasn't our year, Reese.
Finds his son Walter, a freshman playing for Bucknell, but a great run to the Patriot League championship game. And Colgate now makes it a dozen teams that know that they're in the NCAA tournament, leading scorer for the Orange.
6th leading scorer in the ACC at 17 points a game. In fact, 8 of Syracuse's 13 points have come on second chance opportunities here in this game.
And Kenachuk Luka of Pittsburgh, who had 9 rebounds and a block in the victory against Boston College, been dealing with a back issue as well, and he was scratched from the starting lineup. Terrell Brown starting for him as Xavier Johnson steps in and gets the steal, and Xavier with a punch.
Really, Rich, I really like what Pitt has done. They're playing a 2-3 zone of their own, and Syracuse can't just fall in love with the 3 ball. They've got to try to get into that lane off the dribble.
Well, Jeff Capel, as Syracuse turns it over, worked with Mike Hopkins and Jim Boeheim at USA Basketball and learned a lot about this zone. Probably helps him not only offensively, but when they play their zone too. There's Jeff in his first year at Pittsburgh, building a foundation of a program that was candidly in tatters when he took over, but they've dealt with a lot of adversity.
Nice pass. But having had one Blake Griffin on
It
that
does.
Oklahoma team.
Yes, it does. Had a terrific run there in Norman with Blake Griffin. Good job at VCU, and wanted to make sure that he had just the right opportunity when he came back and took a head coaching job. Good play by Frank Howard to avoid the turnover. It felt like that with Pitt's tradition, despite the fact that they'd fallen on hard times the last couple of years, that there were the things in place that could help them be successful there. Did a good job recruiting on very short notice to put together this class, cobble together a roster.
This backcourt's going to be really good for Pitt for a long time. Xavier Johnson, #1, and Trey McGowan's #2 in goal. He's certainly established the foundation there with that backcourt. Those 2 kids can go.
And this Pittsburgh team dealt with a 13-game losing streak before beating Notre Dame in the regular season and winning after the shot. And still having a discussion about it. No foul called. Pittsburgh with a 3-point lead. See how the Panthers attack this zone.
Yeah, got to continue to get it to that ACC area, or the short corner off the pass or off the bounce. Pitt's
attack a zone, and you find an XO way to attack it. But then you have the issue of whether your players are good at those types of things, whether it's a short corner shot or taking it at the free throw line. He was fouled by Frank Howard. There's free throw. Malik, the son of Purvis Ellison, most outstanding player in the 1986 Final Four. Malik started his career at St. John's. Decided to stay at Pitt after Capel took the job.
And Syracuse has to do the same. The short corner in the ACC area, that ball has to get there off the pass or off the drive.
Howard gets by Ellison. Good recovery and contest by Malik Ellison in the block shot. Here comes Johnson. Xavier getting in the paint. Doesn't get a foul call. You know Wilson-Frame wants that. And he's got it. His 4th 3 of the first half.
A perfect 4 for 4 from the 3 from the senior.
And Pittsburgh the 14. Shire leading the scout here. As Duke gets set to play, though it has not been announced officially, it has been expected that Zion Williamson will make his return. Zion missed the last 5 starts and basically the last 6 games, being hurt in the opening seconds of the home game against North Carolina, and there's been a huge difference for the ACC Player of the Year and the Freshman of the Year. It's rare you can miss basically the last 6 games, win Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, and nobody says boo about it. You know?
Well, he's so dominant and efficient, 68% from the field.
If Zion is healthy, does Duke also cut down the nets in Minneapolis? Does not want to hear.
That's okay. It's fact, so it's a fact.
It is true. But I'm going to tell you something. Carolina, it's hard to understand with the tradition and the history and the attention that North Carolina gets, but somehow they've been undersold this year. That is a really dangerous team and a threat to win the national championship.
I think they and Kentucky are kind of floating under the radar.
Terrell Brown floating above the rim and tapping it in and giving Pittsburgh an 8-point lead.
We've seen that 2-3 zone of Syracuse exploited in various ways. They've been able to get in the ACC area, short corner, and one of the areas they're vulnerable as well, their Orange, is on that glass.
Terry almost walked with it from the corner. The 3-ball, 2 blocks a game, fine, but might have been one he would have been better off not swatting at. So Syracuse gets the 4, and it's a 4-point lead for Pitt. Xavier Johnson to Indier. Indier got fortunate. He was caught up in the air, and Ellison showed up and bailed him out. Now Wilson-Frame, who's been just on fire and still is. His 5th 3-pointer of the first half.
Reese, notice what's happening. Multiple dribble drives getting into the ACC area, contracting that zone, and the skip pass is how Wilson-Frame is getting so wide open. Perfect 5 for 5 from 3 in this game.
I think he missed one earlier, but the point's still well taken. He's made 5 of them. He hit 4 in one meeting against Syracuse this year and 5 in the other. So if you're keeping score in 2 games and not quite a half, he's knocked in 14 triples against the Orange. He loves seeing him come. Dolezaj's meeting him out at the 20 years in.
Jared Wilson-Frame has made Syracuse.
Clemson, Tim Beret, who encouraged us to not count out the Tar Heels because last couple of times the Tigers have won the national championship in football, the Tar Heels have answered in basketball.
Wow, nice. That's why they're on the floor for loose balls.
Struggle. That's not typical for Boeheim or Syracuse to do so, but roster situation created an opening. They took a chance on him, and Marix made it pay off.
I love his energy. Love the energy and the focus that he brings to the game.
Ellison right in the middle of that zone. Gets a couple of guys in the air and a sweet move by Malik Ellison. Could this possibly be the same team that lost 13 games in a row? Pittsburgh trying to win their 3rd straight against ACC competition. Hughes misses Brown with the rebound, and here come the Panthers. Indier on the run. Wilson-Frame, Carey made him move off of his spot, and he missed one. Oh, he's got another look. Wilson-Frame, and now he's missed 2 in a row.
He rushed that one.
Yeah. He was like, really? I'm open?
Yeah, he rushed that one.
O'Shea Brissett goes in strong, runs softly and scores.
I love when O'Shea Brissett is putting it on the deck and getting to the rim. So athletic and explosive and can take contact and finish, as you saw there.
Brissett with 4 points in the early going. Syracuse down 8. Out their leading scorer, ties battle. Not Johnson's strong suit to shoot from the perimeter. Lobs it up to Brown. Brown took it down. They have been really good. 12 tickets have been punched already in championship week. Colgate, the most recent, just a stunning loss by Gonzaga. Not necessarily that they lost, but the way St. Mary's handled that game last night is Gonzaga's 18-game West Coast Conference Tournament winning streak. Called for the foul. That's his 2nd on the illegal screen. And Pittsburgh has an 8-point lead here, despite the fact that Trey McGowan has only played About 7.5 minutes. He's got a couple of fouls. He had 26 points last night. But the sharp shooting of Jamar Wilson-Frame has more than offset any missing offense that the Panthers have experienced from anyone. He has made 5 3-pointers, 15 points. Xavier Johnson misses, and coming the other way, Elijah Hughes and Syracuse. We check in with Allison.
Reese, when Pitt is on offense, Capel wants them to continue to be aggressive, get that ball inside, whether it's with the pass or the dribble, and then look to kick it out. But if they do kick it out and that shot isn't there, look for them to then come up and set the ball screen to keep that offense going. He told his guys, I want you to stay aggressive, but you got to be smart. No dumb fouls out there.
Dolajai misses from the short corner. Pittsburgh with the ball, an 8-point lead as we head toward the 2-minute mark in the first half. High handoff, just too much for Ellison. The idea was okay. The execution wasn't, though. From the look on Jeff Capel's face, he might beg to differ. And Jalen Carey, a freshman from Harlem, goes in and scores.
And Reese, that talked about that earlier. Syracuse, they have to do the same thing that Pitt does, is when there's turnovers or missed shots, they got to look to get out and get some easy ones in transition. Easier done with number 5, Jalen Carey, in the game because of his speed.
Ellison right in the middle of that zone, and Deere's going to let it fly from 3. It's no good. Syracuse can draw closer.
I like the push.
Hughes for 3. Got it.
And Reese, you see what the push does? The push catches that defense off balance, not able to get organized, and there's some opportunities there. Well done by Jalen Carey.
Sizable Syracuse contingent here in Charlotte. They're on their feet, exhorting their team on a 7-0 run, trying to close the first half strong. Shot clock headed toward 5 for Pitt. Deere. Tip by Ellison, no good. And Brissett has some rebound. He lost it, and Ellison, look what I found. And Johnson is going to pull it back out and reset it.
How about the poise by that freshman? I would have shot that thing. I would have just let it ride.
Xavier shoots a good percentage from 3, or a pretty good one, 36, but he's not a great shooter yet, so he's judicious in his choices. Wilson-Frame is not, nor should he be. His 6th 3 of the first half. He has half of Pittsburgh's 36. What a performance from Jamar Wilson-Frame in the first 20 minutes.
And Reese, notice what came from. Came off of a touch to the ACC area.
Carey loses it on the way. Dolajai gets it back. He'll let one fly. Dolajai no good.
And oh my gosh, Jamar Wilson-Frame was white hot in the first half. 6 of 9 from 3.
And as we've started the second half, Syracuse down by 6, and now down by 4 off the pull-up bucket. Allison, what did the Orange saying at halftime?
Well, the story coming into this game for Syracuse is that they don't have Tyus Battle, but assistant coach Adrian Autry said it's not about Tyus at this point because they've scored enough points in that first half. He said our problem is defense. We're not rebounding, and we have to stop letting Pitt get to the foul line. He said defensively we have to start to locate Jamar Wilson-Frame. We're allowing Pitt to get the ball into the high post, not rotating quick enough, and he's been finding his spots.
Sort of play, so they're without 17 points per game, and a guy who's been a clutch player for them all season long. And as Allison said, they've scored a lot of points, and Battle's played a lot of minutes. No Division I player the last 2 years has played more minutes than Tyus Battle, so unusual not to see him on the court. And Syracuse trying to atone. Tony gets his shot sent right back in his kisser, and here come the Orange. Frank Howard driving, kicking it out. Hughes hot in the first half, and he stays hot with his 4th triple, and it's a 1-point game.
Elijah Hughes has been consistent all year long, but didn't play well against Clemson. 0 points in 11 minutes. He's been hot tonight.
Quick 5 for Hughes in the second half. The only point scored here in the second. Wilson-Frame, let's see if he's still feeling it. Yes!
Wow, 2 away from the tournament record.
And 1 away from the school record. Wow. 21 points on 7 of 10 3-point shooting for Jamar Wilson-Frame. I guess the break didn't cool him off. Buddy Boeheim driving. Boeheim getting the start in the battle, his 3rd career start for the Hall of Fame coach's son. He has 7 points.
I thought he was mischaracterized when he was in high school. Everybody thinks of him as just a shooter, but he's very skilled, has a really good feel for the game.
Buddy got off to a slow start in his collegiate career, but to show what kind of player he is Wilson-Frame. That was a heat check, but that one was deep. The ACC Tournament Championship game against North Carolina. First of consecutive tournament championships for the Demon Deacons and Randolph Childress. Now an assistant coach to Danny Manning at Wake Forest. Made a record 9. Losing his balance on the way in was Frank Howard. Buddy Boeheim wanted to shoot the 3. Wilson-Frame there to stop him. This time he didn't stop him, and Buddy puts it right in his grill, and Syracuse has the lead.
In ACC wins, Buddy Boeheim is 22 of 41 from 3 for 54%. I think that last little runner he made all of a sudden gives him some confidence to knock that 3 down.
Xavier Johnson fires, can't get it. McGowan chases down the tip back. Chukwu just too big for Xavier to get over. Tried it again, got the same result.
Way to own the paint, Chukwu. I love when bigs do that. At least the danger is, Buddy, once he hits 1 or 2, it could end up being 4 or 6. He can really stroke it when he gets hot.
And Chukwu dealt with a little foul trouble. Boeheim again. And Fonz, you say you've seen this movie before from Buddy.
I have. He and my son Walter played together at Brewster Academy in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, and they were our 3-point snipers. And you let those kids start seeing.
Been in a zone of his own for Pittsburgh. He has 7 3-pointers tonight. Inbounds the ball. Pittsburgh hasn't gotten anything from Trey McGowan, a freshman guard. He got in foul trouble in the first half, sat out most of the first half. And City State, the 4 seed, they open play. Florida State will take on Virginia Tech. Carolina gets Louisville, and Duke will get the winner of our game. Syracuse has moved on top behind fine play from Buddy Boeheim, who turned it over on that pass. And now Pittsburgh has a chance in transition. City and Deer all the way in. Malik Ellison missed the tip, and Chukwu, who's already blocked 3 shots in the second half, snags a rebound for the Orange.
At one point, Pitt had missed 5 straight shots in this half, and Chukwu had blocked 3 of them.
Well, Chukwu kept that one alive, but Syracuse couldn't come up with it. And now Indeer, who's been aggressive on the drive. Trey McGowan, who has the ball now, he had 26 points last night. He has yet to attempt a field goal.
Remember, Reese, he's at his best when he's attacking off the bounce. He's not been able to get anything in the gap. There's an open look for him. I thought he should have taken it.
Opted not to, and he would have been well served to take that shot. That was the best look Pittsburgh had on that possession.
Got to find Boeheim.
They do. Buddy had ripped off 8 points by himself. Left that one on the front of the rim.
Yeah.
McGowan's his first shot of the night. He is well off.
Reese, I'm looking at his face. He doesn't look well. He doesn't look at him. He just doesn't look like himself.
Well, he got in foul trouble earlier.
Yeah.
Not aware if there's any ailment or anything, and somehow he was sensational. Not only shooting 50% from the floor, but getting to the free throw line and helping Xavier Johnson run the team. Malik Ellison creates a little space.
And Reese, that was the one thing that I was going to say that Pitt had gotten away from, is getting that ball into the ACC area, making good decisions from there. Well done there by Malik Ellison.
Buddy Boeheim turns it over. Xavier Johnson slams it home.
It's 2 turnovers now here for Buddy Boeheim. He's got to be better, got to be more careful with the ball.
Elijah Hughes has been feeling it. I don't think he enjoyed that scoreless performance against Clemson over the weekend. Elijah now with 18 points. He has 5 threes of his own.
And Reese, I think that's what makes this Syracuse team so dangerous once they get into the NCAA tournament. Now you have 2 proven shooters.
As Terrell Brown steps to the free throw line, let's check in with Allison.
Well, guys, Jeff Capel told me at the half he liked the energy of his game. He signaled every single guy out during that last timeout, looked at him and said, I need you to rebound, I need you to rebound, I need you to rebound.
At the moment, they're out rebounding the Orange by a couple. Brown misses a couple of opportunities from the free throw line in the second half. Pittsburgh has not shot with the same efficiency they did, largely because Syracuse has been able to limit the opportunities to Jamar Wilson-Frame. Frank Howard driving. Dolezaj flying in. We couldn't corral it, and Brown takes it away. Wilson-Frame was under the bucket begging for it. Xavier Johnson knifes his way in. Nowhere to go. And he was close to getting a 3-second call, so he's going to turn it over one way or the other.
Yeah, I thought he should have taken a shot. That's a couple possessions now where instead of taking the quick early look, they've gone a little too deep into the shot clock or too deep into the paint. It's ended up in a turnover, a bad shot as Frank Howard knocks down a 3 there.
Syracuse, not necessarily a great three-point shooting team, just over 32%. They knocked down another one. The Orange shooting right at 50%, 5 of 7 in the second half, just a touch under 50% on the night from through. Terrell Brown inside. The Chuku effect has Pittsburgh hesitant as they go in around the basket. They've had opportunities, but Chuku with those blocked shots change things. Ellison, and that's fine. Chuku's got another one. No soup for you.
Hughes made hay.
He seems at the moment to be moving okay, though he glanced down at it as he crossed down the floor, guarded closely by Wilson-Frame. Two guys who've had a shootout. Deere switched off on him, and Hughes missed. Boeheim offensive rebound, blocked on the other side, tries it again. Situation for Oklahoma, hoping to advance to take on the second seed Texas Tech in the Phillips 66 Big 12 Championships on ESPN2. Buddy Boeheim with that three-point play has 16 points. That matches his career high. He's also made 9 of 15 three-point attempts in the 2.5 games against Pittsburgh this year. And just as Jared Wilson-Frame loves to see the orange, apparently Boeheim likes to see the Panthers. From the corner, Deere knocks down a 3.
Reese, notice where that came from. Dribble penetration to the ACC area forced the weak side to have to come in, and a long closeout on the weak side. Too long of a closeout. CD Deere knocks that one down. There's beautiful half-court offense against that 2-3 zone.
You know, Deere made a couple of threes against Notre Dame when they snapped their 13-game losing streak.
Yeah.
I love City and Deere because he had missed his previous 23 threes and just kept shooting.
Yeah.
Knocked that one in tonight.
Yes.
It's the first 3 anyone other than Wilson-Frame has made, and then the shot made on the other end by Frank Howard.
Yeah, Frank Howard starting to look more like the Frank Howard that I know. Reese, that's a guy who really attacks and gets to the foul line, and that's not been the case. Free throws in ACC play, only 9 games, and he's usually on the attack getting to the foul line. It's also a boon for Syracuse as we get ready for postseason play. He's usually pretty good off the bounce, right in the middle of his body and able to absorb that charge. That was well done by Merrick Dolezaj.
Put 20 on Wake in the tournament and ate a whole pizza by himself, so that'll help him grow.
Yes.
Couldn't waste time with interviews after that, and then eat pizza.
He's got his priorities.
Well, Chuku was wide open for a minute. Now Howard's open too. Chuku taps it to Howard, and the kick out. Boeheim really wanted to, but the pull-up instead. Chuku! Seeing Terrell Brown back into the game as Chuku knocks in the free throw, and Syracuse has stretched it out to 11, Allison.
Well, we saw Chuku go over to the bench to clean those goggles that he has to wear before shooting those free throws. Remember, he suffered a serious eye injury that required 3 surgery, 1 for a detached retina. He has a scar in one of his eyes that continues to impair his vision. It's why he wears those goggles. And he says those goggles can cause a slight blind spot at times, but he's managed to play through it.
And play well he has on the defensive end. He was hit in the eye with a pass and on that recent three-point play. And Boeheim almost made him pay for that. Wilson-Frame saves it. And Chuku is a one-man defensive stopping crew. He stopped that fast break. Pittsburgh's been very hesitant because he's blocked all their shots. But Deere just changed in the air and went around him. Sweet move from City and Deere. Dolezaj and Brown.
How about the ability to hang in the air there and finish that? That was pretty.
2.5 games, 10 points and 10 turnovers. Second meeting against the Orange, he was 0 for 5. He is 0 for 1 tonight. He had 26 points last night against Boston College. Feeds it to Ellison. And Deere with a pull-up. Tony's back in. He's not afraid, but perhaps he should have been. As Chukwu denies Soup.
Reese, this is a team that struggled at times. Pitt finishing at the rim. 10% of their shots are blocked, which is the most in the country.
Well, they're not the biggest team in the world. I mean, Terrell Brown has a little size, and Chukwu, when he's in, is 6'9". But other than that, their leading rebounder is Tony. He's listed at 6'6". And Deere drives, and he's not a big guy. And the two guards, while fearless, they're not the biggest guys either. So they're going to get some shots blocked. McGowan's trying to get on the board, and he does. Oh, and that was desperately needed for McGowan's and for Pitt.
And what that does is at the made basket, it allows Pitt to be able to get into their full court pressure, but more token pressure there to get some ticks off the clock.
Boeheim's loose.
He's too open.
Chukwu puts it back.
And Reese, I said that earlier in the first half is when Pitt goes small, Syracuse should dominate the offensive glass, and that's exactly what Chukwu has done as of late.
Chukwu's just cleaned up everything. If they have a problem, he's just on both ends of the floor. He just follows stuff if they miss. He blocks it if Pitt comes inside. He's played really well tonight. Nine-point lead for the Orange. Dolezaj in the middle of the Pitt defense. Played very well in the second half, doubled up Pittsburgh, shot the ball better than 50%, 5 of 9 from 3. As expected, dominated in second chance points. Pittsburgh largely behind the prolific three-point shooting of Jamar Wilson-Frame. Had a great first half, but he's only been able to knock in one here in the second half and hasn't had a lot of opportunities. Malik Ellison to McGowan, who hit a three earlier, causing Jim Boeheim to throw his jacket, and this time Jim, the jacket's already gone, so he won't have to throw it. He won't have to rip off his tie or anything.
Reese, for Pitt to win this, get back into and win this game, number 1 in gold, Xavier Johnson has to get going here in the second half. He's 2 for 10 in the game. He's their team leading scorer, and he's got to be more aggressive here with 6 minutes to go.
Dolezaj spinning in the paint. In just a second. I didn't read the lips. I don't think anybody said anything about anybody's mama.
Right.
I decided to. He's 4 on Howard. Wilson-Frame maybe a little frustrated. He hasn't been able to shake loose here in the second half. Xavier Johnson kicks it out to him. Howard guarding him. Malik Ellison gets it over Chukwu, and that's a feat in and of itself, the way he's played in the second half. Fresh shot clock. Dolezaj trying to draw the offensive foul. Wilson-Frame puts it up on the way. It's no good. Terrell Brown has it, and he's
not just Chukwu, but the low forwards have done a great job of closing out on shooters as well. That's Merrick Dolezaj, 21 in white, and Elijah Hughes, 33 in white.
Again, no Tyus battle tonight, dealing with a bruised tailbone suffered in the Clemson game. Syracuse without its leading scorer, trying to earn a date with Duke tomorrow night. Dolezaj turns it over if Pitt can save it.
I just couldn't see you there. I was trying to look out for
the main reason I was unafraid you were closer, and I knew you'd sacrifice your body for your partner. Guess I've gotten old. I can't react quickly enough to be afraid.
I got your back, bro. I got you.
It was like I saw your hands go up. I said, oh, my hands better go up too. Maybe something bad's about to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Pittsburgh needs something good to happen.
Yes.
As I said, a lot of time left here, but
got to play faster, Reese. Once they can get Syracuse to miss a shot, they've got to get out and run. They're undersized right now. With Terrell Brown back in, he can control the boards and let those 4 guards get out and finish in transition where they're at their best.
Buddy Boeheim driving. Yeah, right there.
Oh
Mid-up, bailed right out of the way.
He's a little older by then, man. Come on now.
Let poor Dan Shulman take the brunt of it. Syracuse up by 10, 4.5 to play. Pittsburgh use this guy who just passed the ball, Jamar Wilson-Frame, to get hot. Xavier Johnson penetrates, roots it up toward the basket. Now fighting on the floor, and guess who comes out with it? Pascal Chukwu, who's been just sensational.
Yes, he has.
8 rebounds, 6 block shots, 7 points, and a steal for good measure. And they don't have a number large enough to gauge the intimidation factor that he has levied on Pittsburgh in the second half. From the corner, and it's a 3-ball for Howard.
And he's come into this game not only for the ACC tournament, but also for the NCAA tournament. I felt for Syracuse to make a run to a Sweet 16, Elite 8, Frank Howard had to get hot, and they had to get something from Chukwu, and he's been outstanding and been terrific. A team that shoots 32.
One else on the Panther roster has more than the now 8 that City and Deer has put up.
And we talked about in that last frame, Xavier Johnson, #1 in gold. For Pitt to have a chance to win this game, he's got to be aggressive looking for a shot, and he's just not been able to get in the
field of the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
Had chalk going through. 1 through 8 seeds all advancing to the quarterfinals. Virginia and North Carolina State will start action tomorrow. NC State with a huge win over Clemson to enhance its tournament resume. And certainly I'm not sure there is any doubt, but if there is, they can erase that by knocking off the Cavaliers as Dolezaj puts it down, and Syracuse appears to be on its way to a date with Duke unless Pittsburgh can mount a furious rally in the last 3 minutes.
That's a shot that Dolezaj can make and has been working on. And at times he just won't shoot it. He has the ability to knock that shot down and the 3-ball for Syracuse to make a deep run in the ACC tournament as well as the NCAA tournament. They're going to need a little more from Merrick Dolezaj on the offensive end.
And they'll need a healthy Tyus battle. And he's day-to-day.
Yes.
Whether he would play in a quarterfinal game against Duke tomorrow night remains to be seen. You know he wants to after he had that great game against the Blue Devils in Cameron Indoor. This is a guy that's played more minutes than any player in Division I over the last couple of years. I would say it takes a lot to keep him out of the lineup, but nothing ever has until tonight.
That's when you know a guy genuinely must be injured there. He's going to keep himself out. He's such a competitor. As Wilson-Frame knocks down another. Full court pressure here. Try to speed up Syracuse Orange to see if they can get a little turnover here.
Now look, there's time, but everything has to go right for Pittsburgh. Turnovers will be very helpful. Howard got rid of it just in time. Hughes picked up his dribble there earlier and had to use the timeout. Boeheim gets by McGowan's, and then McGowan's. Jay Wright, Villanova head coach, joining the show.
We had some major concerns about that Villanova team coming into the year, and yet here they are again.
Here they are again. Certainly not the same type of dangerous team they've been with their 2 championship squads, but still improved. There's some head-scratching losses in the non-conference. Kept getting better and better. Wilson-Frame. That one was the tie of the ACC tournament single. A quarterfinal matchup. It'll be the 3rd. Out to a quick 12-point lead. Trey Jones was hurt. Things weren't the same. Cam Reddish missed that game with illness. And then without Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett was terrific in the return engagement in front of the huge crowd in the Carrier Dome, scoring 30 of Duke's 75 to even the score. Interesting thing about the quarterfinal matchup tomorrow night.
With open shooters on the weak side of the floor.
So Syracuse ball ruled to be off of Vendier, and for the second,
it's going to be what's his conditioning like? How long can he play? Because they're a different team with him off the floor. Clearly on the offensive end, but what they miss him is on the defensive end on the floor as well.
Capel wanted an over and back. I'd have to take a quick look at it, but I didn't think it was.
Yeah, Dolezaj's heels and toes were still in the backcourt.
Yeah, you have to be completely in the front court and then go into the back to get the call.
Pitch a quick trap. Look the type of basketball.
Howard does put 2 on the board. A 12-point lead. 1:04 to play here in Charlotte.
The best quick hitters now.
McGowan has had a quiet night, but a good freshman season. Bodes well for Pitt's future. So too is Xavier Johnson, who had that shot there. McGowan is going exceptionally well, the freshman from Pendleton, South Carolina. And he got it. Well, partner, I tell you what, it's our last game to call together. We've had a great time Tuesday nights in the ACC this season. It's been a lot of fun, man.
It really has. Thank you. You're such a gentleman. Allison joins us tonight, and she's such a sweetheart, and you guys have been fantastic. Made for a wonderful year for this old fella over here, so thank you so much.
Oh, I'm older than you, big guy. Back to the free throw line to add to his total.
If it doesn't come, they can score. If it comes, they can kick it across the floor to their effective three-point shooters.
Hey, Howard and Hughes, each with 18 points tonight. Hughes was coming off a bagel against Clemson, and Howard had 3. They got their offensive mojo back. Boeheim's going to collect another rebound, and there's no need to shoot it anymore. Syracuse will bring it into the front court, and the Orange will advance. Just their second ACC tournament win. Syracuse trailed by a half dozen at the break. They outscored Pittsburgh in the second half by 20, 43-23. Jim Boeheim and Jeff Capel